Welcome to the Captain's Blog. I am David McDonough, Senior Vice President of Trilogy Financial. Welcome to the new helm for the Captain. On this blog, we try to take what's unnecessarily complicated back there on Wall Street and make it understandable to you on Main Street. Last week, up 1.5%, up 2% for the dreaded month of September, and over 12% for the year. That is in the face of a weakening labor market, higher jobless claims. Nobody's hiring out there. Why is bad news good news for Wall Street, you ask? The Fed will cut rates to stimulate the economy. At least that's what the market predicted. Did that come true this week? Or did the Fed disappoint? Here's your week in review. As expected, as predicted on this very blog, the Fed did cut interest rates by 0.25% on Wednesday, with a projection that there are at least 2 more cuts this year. The market did this. It's like a dog chasing a car. Now that you've got it, what do you do? The market didn't know what to do. Up, down, sideways. At the end of the day, it finished flat. But I will say this to you. Built into the market. Remember, the market is a discounting mechanism. It is looking forward. It is showing you that fundamentally the economy is sound, at least still growing. And now the Fed is cutting interest rates to make sure that we don't go to stall speed. So as of this taping, market up an additional 1% for the week, keeps hitting record highs. Folks, be patient. If you're in cash, do not chase this. Although interest rates are coming down in your cash alternatives, this market is overpriced, in my opinion. Here's what to look for next week. Yes, the circus continues to go on in D.C. Government shutdown threats. We'll see. I believe that the market will yawn at that news. Again, we'll be paying attention to you, the retail investor. This week, retail sales above expectations. For although groceries are at an all-time high and utilities are at an all-time high, what is happening because of the Fed move is that interest rates are coming down on the prime level, on the prime rate where it comes to the equity lines, credit cards, auto loans. And we'll get to that in our personal finance tip of the week segment. But folks, remember this too. When we talk about chasing, be in the sectors before everybody gets there. On this blog, we talked about you going out and looking in the value sector and the small company sector. Who wanted that 2 to 3 months ago? Well, if you were at the flagship, you were there before everybody else got there.
I told you so.
Yeah. And now it's at a record high. But it's the whack-a-mole game out there, folks. Be there before everybody gets there. Diversify. Use focused versus index. What do I mean by that? With a market at an all-time high, there is still some value. And again, in my opinion, the broader index has less value than certain sectors or individual positions. Consult your local financial advisor for more details. Now, here's your personal finance tip of the week. This week's question comes from Keith from the Cape. Hey, Dave, you talk about the Fed every week. How do these cuts affect me? Well, as always, Keith, a great question. Again, the Fed's job is to create a solid labor market as well as keeping inflation down. When they cut interest rates, what they hope you'll do is to go out and borrow. Go out and spend more on the consumer goods and less on your bills. But what you'll see, again, it does not affect the mortgage market. And you'll hear some of that coming from D.C. The mortgage market is based on the 10-year Treasury. And ironically, after the Fed cut interest rates, the mortgage rates actually went up. Where it also affects you is the short-term cash. CDs, money markets, they'll all come down. And as I mentioned, the market is expecting another 0.5% cut. So for those of you out there with CDs coming due, now is the time to lock in, because I'm of the opinion that it'll be 0.5% less by the end of the year. So thanks again for checking in. We'll see you next week on the Captain's Blog.